legendary oil man Boone Pickens wants to see trucks powered by natural gas. It's a concept pioneered by a handful of companies, one of which is Westport Innovations. Its CEO, David Demers, joins us now, along with Adam from our markets team. Adam, you've been looking at the numbers for this.
I sure have been, and it's not just me who's looking at the numbers. If you take a look at the chart on this stock, it's up about 29% year to date. In other words, there are a lot of people taking notice. Here's what these guys do. They effectively create engines that are trying to be more efficient with diesel, and then ultimately what they really want to do, and this is what Boone's argument is, make engines that are powered on natural gas. So you're using the natural resources already here in this country. Here's the issue with Westport Technologies. Yes, it's up 29% year to date. Take a look at the earnings over the past several years. It's not profitable. Even this year, earnings still down 56 cents. Maybe next year, 2012, the company earns 16 cents. Dave, it's great to be here with you. The question is, how do you make these engines ultimately commercial?
Well, they are commercial today, but it's sector by sector. So we started about 10 years ago in things like city buses. Moved to garbage trucks. That business is very profitable. In fact, probably the most profitable business in this space. But then we take the profits from that, we move into new markets. So for the last 10 years, we have been working on
investing into the business, and that's why you're taking the loss.
So the losses are a set of businesses that are profitable, offset by a business where we're investing heavily, and the one we're investing the most heavily in is long-haul trucks.
When I hear city buses and garbage trucks, flags go up, right? Because that means President Obama is subsidizing this kind of thing. The government has to put money into it to make it work.
Actually, it's completely the other way around, because we need buses and we need garbage trucks, and you're getting a big fuel saving by doing it this way. So people in the cities are saving money.
But will the private market? Will the one of the things I love about diesel engines, and you obviously do a lot of work with diesel engines as well. I love how they're noisy, but it's the torque, right? It's the kick that you get when you put the pedal down in a diesel engine, and you don't get that kind of push from a natural gas engine.
See, but this has been the problem in the industry, is it's these sorts of misconceptions.
Thank you.
The reason that you get less power and torque on a natural gas engine is not because natural gas is bad. It's because most people have only driven a conversion kit or some sort of aftermarket product that's not designed from the factory. Our natural gas engines are better than the base engines that they're from. We'll get better performance out of natural gas than you get out of gasoline or diesel fuel. And so when people drive the vehicles, they can't believe it because of those preconceived ideas that this must just be a green fuel. It's actually a high performance fuel. The vehicles are better, they're quieter, they're cleaner, and they're cheaper. What's really going to drive this, though, is that it's cheaper.
Dave, so go back to the natural gas legislation that's been put forward by Boone Pickens. I mean, how important is that to your success and seeing a profit in 2012 and beyond?
Yeah, we really try and wave this off and say it's not necessary.
You don't need it? You don't need it?
We sell all over the world. There are no government incentives anywhere in the world. In fact, our sales in long-haul trucking are bigger in Canada than they are in the U.S. We're just getting going, but there's no government incentive in Canada. The price of fuel is actually higher in Canada because of taxes, and it's economic there.
So do you call up Boone and say, hey, Boone, back off, we don't
Boone's
need you?
after a different thing, and Boone's a good friend. Now, obviously, he's doing the right thing, and he's thought this through. But what Boone is after is energy security for the United States. And he says, we're looking for a way to get off imported oil and have less dependence on OPEC and therefore less economic uncertainty around some sort of disruption in oil supply. We got to have something to run instead of oil, because we're 100% dependent on oil.
Isn't that effectively what you're talking about?
No, so just hear me out, because then what he says, well, here we got this thing, a really easy path to get to energy security is to move trucks to natural gas. Now, trucks are going to move to natural gas because truckers are driven by money. They're going to save more than $2 a gallon going to natural gas.
It's up much of the oil that we bring in,
So they will go. But if you're worried about an oil shock in the next 5 to 10 years, you'd better make it happen now. And so that's what Boone's plan is about, is to make it happen very quickly and immediately go to 350, 400,000 natural gas.
I got to ask you, you say with no incentives, and we just saw a story a couple months ago about the government coming in and giving UPS massive incentives to shift over to natural gas. So, my question is, and I'm psyched if the engines have a lot of kick. I would be excited to drive a natural gas truck. But
come on down.
But what I'm looking for is for the private market to pick it up, right?
Yeah, they are, because the deals that just. I have to step back a minute. See, these trucks are brand new. They've only been available for a few months. So if you're a truck operator like UPS, Waste Management, we just did a deal with Heckman in the gas shales, Robert Trucking in Quebec. What are you going to do? You're going to say, well, 20 years of data. Show me how this works. Show me that it's going to last for 10 years. So people are really
Show me
excited.
I can fill up, right?
Show me
you
I
need
can
to, you need to fill up.
So we got a bunch of questions we have to answer. We have to prove ourselves. We know that. But what we've been doing over the last few years is demonstrating this in market after market that this will work. It will make money for you. It's going to last and be reliable, and you can refuel as we manage refueling infrastructure to match the needs of a particular fleet.
And how much is the price of one of your engines versus a comparable diesel engine?
Well, for a truck, it's almost $50,000 more. And that's mostly because it's almost $50,000 more for a truck.
So in percentage terms, that's
40, 50%. Depends.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It is, of course it is. But an average truck, the type of truck that we're after, is going to consume 25,000 gallons of fuel a year. So if I'm saving $2 a gallon, I get my payback in a year.
In 1 year.
Dave, how worried are you about, we've been focusing all day about the bad economic news. I mean, if companies are starting to worry about the economic outlook, how much are they going to be willing to step up and pay those extra costs to make the conversion here?
You know, ironically, it's a little bit counter-cyclical for what we're doing because we really saw a sudden shift in attitude around this 2 years ago when we saw that first oil shock in May '08, really focused people's attention on the need to get some alternative. That was both people who use trucks, the shippers, and the trucking fleets. The trucking fleets because they just couldn't keep up with the fuel bills,
right?
And the shippers because they said we can't manage our own costs if the price of fuel is going up by 10% a week. So that's kind of what got people going. We had a little bit of a recession we had to work through. Now we're seeing oil prices spike up again, and that's really what got things going this spring.
So that's the bigger indicator, oil
absolutely.
prices, not what's going on in the economy?
And more the belief that we're at risk of future oil spikes and that we need to have some insulation and some hedge. And really people have been looking desperately for that for 5 years.
If you can save $2 a gallon there, obviously when the spread gets bigger, your business gets better. Thanks so much for joining us, Dave. Really interesting stuff. Dave Demers,
thanks for your time.
Westport Innovations. When you get an engine in a Chevy Suburban, give me a call.
You'll be there.
Give me your
Coming up.
card.